Thanks for joining us for another episode of Love, Marriage, and Everything in Between. I'm Chef Shan.
I'm DTP, aka Mr. Official,
And this is
episode 15.
Countertop Talk.
It's been an interesting day up until recording.
Yes. You know, we always have interesting days, but kick us off with our icebreaker.
Okay, but how was your week first? We always got to start with that. How was your week?
Um, the week was weekend. You know, I felt like I was all over the place this week, just like not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I think there's better weeks ahead. Wasn't the best week, but you know, we always know how to make lemonade out of lemons. So I'm ready for what we have to offer. But it's episode 15. You know, my favorite number is the number 5. So intervals of 5. So I'm ready to get at it.
Let's go.
Got it. So I think one of the things that attracted us to each other is that we both have always loved cars. So for people that's looking to learn more about us, want to know more about you, want to know more about me, what would you say has been your favorite car that you owned? And is necessarily your favorite car a dream car too? It can be separate, right?
Yeah, but it could be both. Sometimes your favorite car is your dream car.
So what would you say what is your favorite car? Or should I say, what is your dream car? You choose which one you choose to answer.
Well, I would say my favorite car that I had was a Range Rover.
Mm-hmm.
And my dream car was also have now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So I'm going to go back.
Okay.
My favorite cars before we got together, well, it's 2. I would say the 87 Maxima was one of my favorite cars. That was my second car.
That was a classic. Why?
That was
Why was that your favorite car?
I don't know. It was just it was a major accomplishment for me. I got it at 19. And
so you got it in 1998?
No, I got it when I was 19 years old. Oh, yeah. So I got it in 1998.
Poor thing.
Listen. I mean, like, I wasn't out the gate with things, but yeah, I started off with the 87 Max. But I gotta say, my favorite car is the Audi A8L. The black Audi A8L with the peanut butter seats. That right there is like, I feel like that's Audi did us wrong on that, but I love that car. That was the car.
Yeah,
and I kind of want to revisit that. I really want to revisit.
I don't want nothing Audi makes.
Yeah, but you know what? I understand why you say that, because what we went through. But I think it was the service center. But that right there was man, that was the car.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got a lot of things to get to this week. We asked that everybody please subscribe to our page, comment, let us know things that you want to hear about. But I know you got some topics that you want to discuss.
So for this week, we're going to really talk about what's happening in the world right now. I know normally we talk about marriage tips, or the top 5, this or the top 3. But this week we're going to talk about what's going on in the country, because a lot is going on. And please comment and let us know your thoughts, or what's going on in your world, or how you're navigating the current state of our economy and, new government bills and things like that. So I'm going to start us off talking about the big, beautiful bill, Trump's big, beautiful bill, which was passed. A lot of people are up in arms about it because of the changes. Now, You do have people on one side that are really happy because of the projected tax credits that people will receive. However, you have other side of people that's really upset about all the deductions that's going to happen. So something that's been in the news is Medicaid. In order to continue with Medicaid, you have to go through and training hours to show that you're trying to get a job. So you're taking on some type of training to help you get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying because of that, a lot of people are going to be kicked off of Medicaid because of the paperwork or reporting their hours. A lot of people are going to be impacted by it. So that is a major deal. Also, SNAP benefits are going to decrease, they're saying, by maybe like 300 million. So a lot of people are going to be impacted with those benefits. Now, I know in our community, black people always figure things out, not really too concerned about the SNAP, but the medical, insurance part, healthcare, that's kind of scary because everyone needs healthcare and you're trying to manage, having healthcare versus getting your hours logged in. That's going to be a big deal. And I don't want to offend anybody saying that SNAP is not a big deal, but I'm just speaking on our community when I talk about SNAP because number one, the majority of people that's on SNAP are not black people. Secondly,
A lot of people don't know that.
yeah, and secondly, in our community, we always know somebody that may be selling food stamps.
Absolutely.
So, we're always going to figure it out. But with healthcare, that's kind of tricky. You can't get around having healthcare, not having healthcare, worrying about healthcare for your kids because going to the doctors is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to talk about that because I know a lot of people are staying with their employer or keeping their job because of health care.
Right.
Health care is a major deal in our country. And I know Governor Westmore,
In Maryland.
Maryland, he proposed a voluntary separation plan for state workers, giving them a package to retire early. But a lot of people are saying that they're going to they're not going to take the package because they need their insurance.
Benefits.
Yeah, they
Right.
need their benefits. So, it's a lot going on. So if you haven't read the big beautiful bill, it's like 900 pages. I haven't read all
You
of
read,
it.
oh, I was about
Yeah, I
to say,
haven't, and I do love to
you
read.
love to read. You find things to read, whether it's the
Yeah,
back of the ingredients of food
I
or whatever. You
know, but
love to
I,
read.
I haven't read it, but I have been watching a lot of news on it, CNBC about it, and it's a lot of mixed reviews. Even Elon came out and said against Trump that he doesn't like the bill because it's going to cause a lot of more debt. So I would just encourage everybody just to know what's happening with it, see how it will impact you or impact our community, just so you'll be able to talk about it. So that was number one, what I had on the list. Number
You
two,
did a good job explaining that. And the
thank you,
healthcare
baby.
part, yeah, the healthcare part is very important because um, my having, I like to say partners. I don't like to call my employees because we're partners.
Mhm.
To have children,
Mhm.
that impacts them.
Mhm.
And if you have a child that has special needs or you have parents that are dealing with health and ailments, I mean,
Yeah.
that is something at the most minimalistic state that all Americans should have. And it's just so unfortunate that people are having to pick and choose and decide, um, to get the coverage for that. That's just unfortunate. Like I hate to hear it. And it's making people that one of our friends is a realtor, advised one of his friends that moved out of the country after the election. And I understand why. I mean, I think we missed our opportunity on COVID. We were anticipating making a move out the country, but um, it's very unfortunate because I don't care who you are, I don't care how much you make, I don't care what you have. Everybody should be afforded the benefit of having health insurance. Point blank. That's it.
Yeah, and especially as Americans,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a lot of other countries that do offer, free health care, like Canada, Cuba, things like that. So we're definitely,
Antigua,
yeah, we're definitely
Antigua,
behind.
and I think what we need to start doing too, as our community, is that when we're traveling, forget traveling for IG. Travel to places you would possibly consider living. Like one thing I like about Antigua, which is a place we visited, is that they invest in their citizens
Hmm.
because the expectation is that if we can provide health care for our citizens,
Right.
we can help our citizens live longer. Our citizens will assist us in maintaining our country.
Hmm.
I think that's a beautiful thing. To have a government that wants to invest in your health, that is a very, very rewarding thing. So um, my advice to all Americans, especially African Americans, would be, yeah, we all take vacations, but start traveling places where could possibly be a home for you one day. Um, and it may not be right now. You may not see the light at the end of the tunnel to transition to another country, but we have to start being very creative and paying attention to the signs of things.
Tell them about your the Facebook group, the expats, and
Yeah.
all of
So
that.
so we are a part of a. I'm a part of a Facebook group, expats of Antigua. So right now, that is a country that I am narrowing down for me and my family to move to, and to become citizens. And obviously, the expat process is a very extensive process. There's a few ways to become citizens, whether you buy a home, I believe over 410,000, or I'm sorry, $250,000. You instantly become an expat, or you have to have 4 years and other credentials. Every country is different, but there's a lot of research you need to do if you are expecting or anticipating moving out the country. Find out what it will take, and even down to if you have a pet, there are certain criteria that and expectations that they have for your pet to come to the country. So um, it's that time for us to start looking at things from a different aspect. And I know myself being a city guy from West Baltimore, a kid, I never imagined moving out of Baltimore. I never imagined moving out the country, right? But as we continue to see how the world is evolving and changing, I have no choice. We have no choice but to look at all options for us.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Yeah. So
stop going to Jamaica. Not stop going to Jamaica, continue to support Jamaica because it helps the economy, but start really visiting places that you could consider living because you never
some
know.
people may want to
Absolutely.
move to
Yeah.
Jamaica.
Yeah. I mean, I know a
Yeah.
lot of people love Jamaica.
Yes.
Jamaica's a beautiful place. We've been to Jamaica, but um, visit places that you can actually see yourself living because you never know. You never know.
Yeah. So next up, so you remember in the beginning of the year where it was plastered all over the news, the government officials being laid off, and it was nothing that they can do. They was just laying people off to cut the budget. Then it was a hold on those layoffs because they took it to court. They put a hold on it. Right? They said, stop, no more. This is unethical.
Hmm.
You can't just lay off people like this. So
Well, in response, because my younger sister's a part, she worked for the government, they send out the memo, the government saying, we never told you to fire government employees. We advise you it would be best to save on the bottom line.
Yeah. So recently, the Supreme Court ordered on July 8th, they actually cleared the federal, government to go ahead and proceed with their layoffs. So at
I
this
saw that.
point, it's nothing that anybody can do. They can go ahead and take action and lay people off. Also, Microsoft have came out and said that they are laying off 9,000
What?
people.
9,000?
9,000. 9,000. So this is only the beginning, So Microsoft is saying they're laying off people because of AI. They're overstaffed. They don't need all of these people where they can use artificial intelligence to do tasks that humans are doing. So someone that was actually affected back in the day with technology, coming from IT, I was laid off because of automation. So that trend is still going. So I don't know. Right now, I would definitely say it is time to pivot. This new AI boom that is happening, they're saying that this is like the dot-com boom that we had back in the 90s growing up. So use this opportunity, this information that is plastered all over the news. Company are laying off people, federal government are laying off people. Take this time to develop skills in AI. Know what it is, know how to use it, and just understand the technology, because this is only the beginning. What we use, the chat, GPT. This is only the beginning. Because what they are doing now, they're building up so many data centers. They're actually calling it AI centers. Where so the goal is to have complete humanoids.
Right.
So what we're seeing now with the automation is really just phase one, because the goal is to have humanoids doing, basically everything that we do, and they may have one human that's overseeing everything. So
Companies want to save a lot of money like that. And
yeah,
it makes you think, like when we were growing up, now I'm aging myself here. The cartoon The Jetsons. It really seemed so far-fetched. Rosie, that was the name of the robot that was like the nanny. The cell phone with the person on it, which is like FaceTime. And we're here now. We're here. So I think you said it perfectly and so eloquently that it is definitely time to pivot. It is definitely time to sharpen your skills. But right now is a time to really, really hunker down. And I was just telling our son this. It's not really about how much you make, it's how much you keep. You have to find ways to keep your cash on hand. Keep your cash on hand. Keep a certain amount of money in your safe. In the event we ever run into a Y2K situation like in 99, remember they were telling everybody to withdraw their funds from their checking and savings account. Keep your receipts. Obviously, nothing happened, but who knows? Maybe that was a test. But it is definitely a time to be very mindful, cognizant, and strategic, as well as intentional with how you are using funds. And prayerfully, everybody has a passport as well in the event everything hits the fan.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts far as this AI boom? Are you embracing it? Are you hesitant? What's your thoughts on this new wave? Because I think us being in our 40s, we have seen a lot. You know, we were pre-internet. So, you know, what
Mhm.
Google was birthed what in 96 and 97. So, you know, we were born way before that. You know, we're
Mhm.
from the payphones, you know,
Right.
going to a payphone, you
Right.
know, putting in a quarter, make a phone call,
Right.
beepers. Okay, what
Right.
else we have? So
The
after the
two-way
beeper,
pages.
yeah, two-way
Man,
pagers,
I would love a two-way pager right now.
cell phones, you
Hmm.
know, all of that. So we
Yeah.
actually floppy disk, CD, VCR. So we have
Beta.
went through a lot of changes in our lifetime with technology, and now we're here. And I know for me, it's scary to me, you know, where technology is at, because at the end of the day, the person that's behind the screen that's doing the programming, you know, what type of code are they programming into these software? Is it going to be discriminatory? You know, is it going to hurt our community in the long run? You know, because at the end of the day, we know these robots, these software is going to be biased, because if the person behind it is biased, that's going to translate over into the software. So to me, it is it's kind of scary, you know, because there's no parameters. You know, right now it's all new, so it's all free fall. So how do you feel about it?
I agree. Um, Initially, I love technology, but I was not on this chat GBT stuff. You know that. I know you were on that like in the very, very beginning because I felt like, why help us?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's kind of like, and not to be controversial, but this is my truth. When we were talking about the COVID-19 vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm.
When truly has our government really said, you know what, we want to make this better for the people? ChatGPT is definitely a resource. I am on board now because that is the future. I would be ignorant to try to ignore it because I don't want to embrace it personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is helpful. I think it is very resourceful. But as you said, it's going to impact a lot of human lives because when these computers start replacing humans as far as what they can do, that impacts people like you and me, that impacts people in our community, that impacts people that are not in our community. Um, so I've embraced the wave because I feel like I definitely need to keep my eye on it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you can't be ignorant because you
Mm-mm.
don't want to embrace it. I'm not going to
Yes,
learn about it.
you gotta learn about it.
You have
You
to.
gotta know what's going on, because
Yeah.
a lot is happening. Also, this week they call it. What do they call it? What's happening this week? They call it Crypto Week. So this week is Crypto Week, where they are declaring to push three different bills together. One is called the Genius Act, whereas though they're going to have a bill that really standardize cryptocurrency.
Hmm.
You know, so it's a lot of things that's happening around us that's so new. So,
Yeah.
you
And
know, so we really have to, you really have to watch out. I watch CNBC. I like Jim Cramer and David. You know, I watch them in the morning just to know what's going on, and then I'll watch the closing bell at the end of the day. You have to follow the money. You have to know what's going on. So definitely tune into CNBC and find out, you know, which host you like the best, but just get the information.
think about it. It's July 2025 right now.
Hmm.
You have to look at how our world has changed in 7 months. And I
Yes,
know
yes,
as
yes.
a younger man, I never watched the news. Um, I watch it now for business, of course. I watch it for finances, and then I have you, who study finance and the news all day. But if you look at how much our world has changed in 7 months with our newest administration, and we have 3 years,
That's a bar. That's
three
a bar.
years and a few months left. And if you look at how things has been done, so as T.I. would say, expeditiously, man, like it's really time to lock in and have a laser focus on everything. Your finances, how you're spending, sticking to a budget, not just making a budget, but really sticking to your budget. Um, AI, AI is the nucleus of so many things right now. AI, it's important, and it's not play time. It's not like
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you, with everything, the points we just went over, what's happening right now in the country, what would you say would be a good action plan for our community? So you said, you
okay.
know, finances,
Hmm.
cutting costs where you can. And what was the other two you stated?
Um, Not sure, but let me start over. So
Okay.
I'll bring it up.
Okay.
So I would say first thing is cut the fat,
Okay.
right? Cut the fat. You got an iPhone, Google phone. Look at your subscriptions, right? Because a lot of times we paying for things we forgetting we paying about. That $7.99, that $8.99, that $9.99, that $10.99, that adds up every month, right?
It did because
No,
we found some things
what?
with us.
What?
Like we paying for, I'm paying for Netflix. Our son paying for Netflix.
We
Like
paying
what?
for Disney. Our kid, our youngest child is 17 going on 18. Like what? Um, so yeah, cut the fat. So subscriptions, monitor that to make sure you're not paying for anything that you don't want. Next, check for things that you are paying for that are redundant. Redundancy is another way that catches a lot of us up. Those things that you are able to do that you are paying somebody to do, it's time to muscle up and get it on yourself. It doesn't matter if you have it. It's just a matter of right now when you're in a space where you have so much uncertainty, um, you got to keep the cash in house. You got to keep the cash in house and pay things accordingly. Um, so I would say that. Number two, I would say this is not the time. Obama said this 2 weeks ago. He said this is not the time to remodel your kitchen. This is not the time to spend money frivolously. And if you are, I'm not going to say not travel because you might need a reset. But for us, like I said, it's all right. It's time to travel with places we're going to consider living,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we can have a vacation, but we also can be on recon to figure out. Let's scope this out, and it's not going to happen in one trip. You might have to take 2 or 3 trips there, but it's time to start being very intentional with where you're spending your money and how you are directing your resources. Point blank.
Yeah.
And let me say one more thing. Real quick.
Okay.
Um, it's also very important to be intentional. Um, you made me lose my train of thought. Was one more thing I wanted to say. You did make me because you cut me off.
Yeah. Why you
Um,
cut me off all the
okay,
time?
but you made me lose my train of thought. It was something I wanted to say regarding being intentional. But go ahead. Maybe it'll come back to me.
Okay. So just to refresh your memory. So what you said so far, you said cut the fat. Okay. Watch out for redundancy.
Hmm.
Anything that you have redundant, cut. It's a time to save. Now, for time to save, you was talking about travel with a purpose. If you're
Hmm.
traveling somewhere, travel to a country that you feel like you're going to perhaps reside in the future.
Oh, I know what it is. Make adjustments. So I see this a lot. The times are changing and people are making adjustments to their lifestyle. So, for instance, if you go out every weekend, like when COVID first closed down, We are not outside people, but we was like, it's time to be outside. We want.
No, you out.
Okay,
You're an outside
I'm
person.
not an outside person. We were collectively wanting to be outside more. So, um, in being outside, we realized like we was going out every weekend and we was spending like $300 a day, like Saturday, Sunday, fun day, and was like, hold up, that's $600 in a weekend. That's not wise. So right now is not the time to be exploring Sunday fun day. Of course, you need to get out. You want to entertain yourself. You got to have health and wellness days, things of that sort. But you have to adjust because in 2021 you were spending maybe $1,500 a month on entertainment. This is not the time for that. Doesn't matter if you got it. It doesn't mean that you are less of a man or a woman. It just means that you are financially savvy and you are wise. Make adjustments based on the environment that we're in. That's the last one I had.
Okay. Now, as for making adjustments and also when you mentioned time to save, I just want to throw in, life is very hard, very difficult, so people still want to take their mind off of things. So something I did want to mention, something that we do a lot, instead of going out of the country, you normally go out of the country, maybe take a day trip somewhere, go to a spa,
Road trip.
yeah, just like a day somewhere, because it's a lot going on, where so I know people need to come down. So if you're used to traveling and you're spending maybe 6,000 on a trip, okay, maybe take a day trip, come back home, or a staycation somewhere, but trim the fat, save some money, but still enjoy life, because at the end of the day, you only get one life and you got to make the best out of it. I will say this. I do feel like this is just going to be difficult times for a short period. I feel like you get through this time, you'll be all right. But
I
you just,
agree. I don't think it's going to be a show. I think the first 2 years, I think if you can get through
well, the
26,
first 2 years, that's a short time. Like
yeah,
I'm when I say short time, I'm saying like it's not going to be like a 5 year turnaround. I think
absolutely.
it's going to be a quick turnaround. They're doing a lot of things to get people to, indulge more in drugs, indulge more into alcohol, make the wrong move, run up your credit card bills. It's going to be a lot of chaos. This is basically the purge. Okay, the
Mm,
purge,
that's a
whatever.
big statement. The
Yeah,
purge is
it
crazy.
is.
Yeah.
They want to be purging out the people. A lot of people ain't gonna be able to make it through here. It's gonna be a lot of adjustments. It's gonna be a lot of people that may have to sell their home. And you know what? If you have to sell your home, you may not be able to be a homeowner ever again. A lot of things are happening. It's a massive reset. But if you can just hold on to your home, if you could just hold on to your job, it's going to be light at the end of the
Yeah.
tunnel,
And you can do it. You can do it, but you got to make the proper adjustments. You can't be stubborn and say that this is what I do, this is how I do. Man, somebody I went to high school with put, don't try to be IG rich for people that have nothing to do with your life and not there to help you. And I agree with that. I've had business partners, my people that have worked with me, that felt like they were less than because they were seeing the highlights of people's life online and comparing it to their life. So um, let's be disciplined. One thing about our community I can say is that we figure it out.
Yeah, for
We can get
sure.
we can get through this, but it is going to take a little sacrifice. It is going to take a little tenacity, and it's going to take a lot of discipline, which we are all capable of doing.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. I totally agree. I totally agree. So to change gears, it's a
Okay.
lot been going on social media. The RG3 and Angel
Oh
Reese
man.
situation. Now, I really don't know what's going on with that. I know that they've been going back and forth, but I don't know what RG3 deal is with Angel Reese. But I will say this. I did see Shaquille O'Neal speak out about it, and I love that. I love that he is coming out and defending her and making it known that he has her back. 'Cause I'm not liking this man
Yeah,
against female thing. So
so this
what's
is
going
this is
on?
close to home for me because one, we're from Baltimore. Angel Reese is from Baltimore. I love Angel Reese. But before I get to RG3, I'm gonna say this. People have a problem with Angel Reese because she's unapologetically black and beautiful
Mm-hmm.
and great at what she does,
Mm-hmm.
right? The drama started with her because remember she was doing the infamous ring in a tournament with Caitlin Clark. But this is where you have to educate yourself on environments. Angel Reese is from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
If you hoop in Baltimore, talking trash is what we do. You understand what I'm saying? And Angel Reese is the epitome of Baltimore basketball because we gonna talk that ish and we might go to Popeyes with you afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a problem. People don't understand. And it's like when we moved to Houston and one of your customers got something, they was like, that hoe good. And I was like, excuse me? I thought they called me a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said, excuse me? They was like, no, that hoe good. And I come to realize that's what they say down here. Like a hoe could be anything. It's a noun, and they curse a lot. So like you'll have somebody cursing at you, like, where that be at? Like, where my food at? Like, where my order at? But I'm like, what? Because in Baltimore, you say that like it's up. You know what I mean? Like
you getting off the food truck.
man, it's up. It's up, right? So it just goes to an ignorance thing. Like Angel Reese is doing what she should be doing. She's just doing it at a very, very high level. As for RG3, I love what Shaq did. Okay, I'm never going to condone violence because obviously, if you're saying you're going to do this to a man it can do whatever he wants, right, to defend himself. But I agree with him taking up for a woman at this point because it's like, come on, man, like let's stay in your lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's stay in your lane. So it's like this: when you and your girlfriend's having a girls' day out at our home, and I come in and y'all eating crabs in the back, there's two type of men. There's a man that's going to come and speak to your friends and go about upstairs in the basement, leave back out. And then there's RG3 who's probably going to sit at the table and say, hey, what y'all talking about? It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate in how he is attacking Angel Reese. And I can see through that. I know what it is.
What is it?
What? It's easy. You don't know what it is?
I'm asking you.
RG3 has never been received by black women.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful black women. And he has a platform. So because he was never received, he was obviously that corny guy. He could never get the hot girls. He could never get the beautiful girls like Angel Reese. And this is his way of getting back. And obviously those black girls were right in not pursuing him because he's a clown.
Yeah, and what is cringy to me, and I'm getting my information from like little clips I have seen. I haven't clicked on it, but I did see like a little title that said his wife is a part of the podcast, or she's sitting.
She sits in the back and cheers him on. But this is the most egregious thing.
Yeah, but as a woman, I don't understand. Even though she's a white woman, but I'm not going to have you disparage a woman
is
on our podcast.
Of course.
Yeah. Not. So it's just.
Let me break it down, babe.
Yeah.
Let me break it. Angel Reese is a beautiful black woman, and she's not apologetic for anything that she says or does. She's also very comfortable in her sexuality. She believes that I can be a great basketball player, right? I can be very, very attracted to myself and love myself and expose my sexuality, and people don't like that. But the days of women athletes conforming to what people want, that's over. That's over. You know, like you see these young women, these WNBA players on the runway now, and showing their outfits, you know, showing their style, showing their pizzazz with everything that they do, and I love it. It's great for the game of basketball. You know, Kobe, the late great Kobe Bean Bryant, told the WNBA before his passing, start telling these women's story to propel the WNBA. You know, so what I was getting to before you asked that question is that the most egregious thing is that Angel Reese is only the third black woman to host the cover of NBA 2K20 of NBA 2K. So NBA 2K, for those that don't know, is a very popular basketball game on a PlayStation, Xbox, etc. And the only other ones that have hosted the cover, I think, is Angel Reese. What's the girl playing Vegas?
Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson and Candace Parker are the only three women to ever be on the front of the NBA 2K. So why not celebrate that? I personally believe that, okay, RG3, he was born in Japan, he grew up in Texas, and he has a European wife. Great. Okay. You love your European wife, you love your potato salad with raisins in it. To love one thing, you don't have to hate anything else. You understand what I'm saying? So he's on the side of he's a Caitlin Clark fan. Great. You can love Caitlin Clark, but you don't have to hate Angel Reese. Angel Reese is the closest resemblance to what brought you into this earth, which is your mother. How dare you put a gorilla's face or a monkey's face on her face in a jersey? So, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, I mean, a man with those type of tendencies is comfortable addressing women like that. I mean, I really hate that he's even getting this attention because he made his name by being one of the best athletes in the world. To be a professional sports player, you have sacrificed so much. You sacrifice your diet, you sacrifice entertainment, you have sacrificed partying, you've made every sacrifice to get to the highest level of competition in a sport that most people don't reach. And it's very unfortunate that because of what you've just done with Angel Reese, you're going to be more known for your podcast than what you were able to accomplish that most people will never be able to accomplish, which is to be a professional sports athlete. Think about that. So, um, and I want to say one thing: it's not a back and forth because Angel Reese has not addressed him, and I'm glad that she hasn't because she is totally above this. Like he is so beneath her that I'm glad because we know that she can fire back, and she probably can fire back and hurt the man's feelings. But I don't even think it's worthy. Great job, Shaquille O'Neal. Great job to everybody else that's coming to the forefront for her because we absolutely need to protect our women. And any man that's comfortable talking to a woman like that, man, you can't even be in my space. You can't even get my attention. Like you just, you know, you don't even deserve to be in even a conversation. And a man that has women tendencies like that, that's just so comfortable going hard at a black woman, and you came from a black woman, man, continue to live in your peach farm in Vermont, wherever you and your wife live, but you don't have to hate one thing to love another.
Right. So, okay. So, also, what has been trending in the news is Paul Pierce versus Dr. Cheyenne. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Um, Paul went in, but what do you mean more specifically? My thoughts on like
I
him
mean,
saying you can't give advice.
you seen the clip. What's your
You
thoughts?
can't give advice if you're not in a relationship.
Everything. I mean, anything that you know. I
Um,
mean, you're a married man.
uh huh.
Paul Pierce kind of jammed her up.
He definitely jammed it
Asking
up.
her. She's dating right now, and you mentioned that she's not vitamin D deficient, meaning she is
Hmm.
having sexual relations with someone, but she's not in a committed relationship. But she is telling women, not to have sexual relationships if you're not in a committed
Okay.
relationship.
So that's the part I was missing. I know she talks about relationships. I didn't know specifically what she said. Um, Live your truth. I mean, Paul Pierce, I think he brought up some very valid things about how are you able to give relationship advice you're not in a relationship. But at the same time, I don't feel like you have to be in a relationship to give advice. I think his perspective, which if it were me and how he did it, I think you can go about it a different way. But at the same time, from my understanding, she's very hard on men. Is that correct?
I mean, I wouldn't say she's very hard on men. I would say that she points out a lot of flaws in men, the same way men point out
Just
flaws in
and he
women.
pointed out flaws in her.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so I think that's one of those situations. Two things can be right. Um, and he definitely jammed her up because she got the stuttering. So live your truth. I don't think it would have been as viral if she responded more confidently.
Yeah.
Paul had her stuttering, he had her pausing, he had her hesitating. He really had her jammed up. So that made me feel personally like the things that you're saying and that you're telling your clients that you don't believe. So I think that was the issue because Paul was very pointed. He was very pointed in the direction he wanted to go. And right now it's Paul Pierce 1, Dr. Cheyenne 0.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Mhm. So that's all I had for my list of topics. And just to do a recap, what we talked about today, we talked about the big beautiful bill. We talked about the government layoff. We also talked about Maryland's governor offering a voluntary separation package.
Hmm.
We also talked about RG3, Angel Reese, Paul Pierce, and we also talked about things that Black people can do to weather this current storm that we're going
Yeah.
in.
And I want to say this with Angel Reese to end on a positive note. Like, we need to talk about what she has accomplished. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, they a feud. Um, it's very profitable for the WNBA, right?
Yeah,
They have
it's like Magic
Magic
Johnson.
and Larry.
Yeah,
They've created a buzz, right? But
they have.
Caitlin Clark fans, stay on your side. Support Caitlin. Angel Reese fans continue to support Angel Reese. But what I am going to say is that Angel Reese has changed the game. She has shown that you can be beautiful and still hoop. She has what 9 consecutive games of double doubles. She started off the season slow, but she has picked it up. She's about to be a two-time All-Star in her second season, and the girl is getting a bag on and off the court. There's absolutely nothing anyone can say about her, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure that she's listening to our podcast yet, but keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring a lot of women, a lot of girls, a lot of men, a lot of humans. Period. With what you're doing, the girl works. She's in the gym. She's working with Lisa Leslie right now, proactively because she advised her she wants to get better. She has brands all over the world that she supports and doing. She's still doing her own thing on YouTube. So keep doing what you're doing, and you can't let the negative voices and the darkness in this world discourage you. And I think she's doing a great job of showing that she's above that.
Yeah, and you actually have done a lot of great work in Baltimore. You
I have.
actually gave a lot back to the high school she graduated from.
Absolutely. She was a
And
student there when
yeah,
a part of the years that I've sponsored St. Francis Academy in Baltimore and given back, and I
yeah,
will continue to do so. But of course, I don't take credit for her success, but I do feel great that I was able to be a part and give back to the school that have supported her, that she attends. So yeah, that's what it's about. So
yep. So we're wrapping up, and we'll catch you guys next week. So until then, be blessed and be safe.